Greetings everyone, road contractor here. Day 7 is complete and I've been walking around all day just feeling like I'm on another level right now. You know, I feel good. 7 straight days of doing this endurance workout. It was a little challenging, especially towards the end. Felt like I was putting more into it, I guess, especially on those 10K runs. And I really began to realize, one, that I realized why I was feeling like I was putting more into it, or at least it was getting harder to run. It's because as I was finishing my times, each day seemed to be getting a little bit better. So when I first ran it, I think I had, like, after 3 laps, I had on those first days like 11 minutes left, which means it took me it took me 49 minutes to run 3 laps. By today, I ran it and I had 13 minutes left, which means it took me 47 minutes to run 3 laps. And then on that last lap, I'll do a big loop, circle around one time, so it puts me right at the track, real close to that 1 hour mark, and then I can run down the track, get to the end of it where I do my calisthenics, and my timer will finally go off on my watch, and I'm done. And I went from 11 minutes to almost 12, and then 12 and a half, and then today finally was 13 minutes, you know, so I was like, well, I'm running 3 big laps in 47 minutes, so my time is way ahead. So I had to like do a loop, and had to kind of squiggle around instead of doing a figure 8, came up, went around, and do another big loop, and then a little small loop, and then just to kill some more time so I can kind of end it right where I need to be. You know, because if I ended on this side, say if I just ran 4 laps, I still wouldn't be at the 1 hour mark, which means I'd have to go around further. So I'd be further on this side of camp when I finished the 1 hour, and I'd have to either walk or continue running until I got to the other side of camp. So I just try to end it over there, so that way I can just start my calisthenics right away. Calisthenics went well, doing those really strong. So now I can get back to just doing my regular workouts without burning too many calories. So I think one of the next few videos I'm going to do will be a lessons learned on these 7 days of doing this endurance challenge while eating and sticking to primarily a protein diet, a carnivore diet, and what that did. And I'm going to tell you, as I was going through each day, I was burning fat. I was absolutely burning fat, and I even will put a before and after. I don't know, I haven't looked at the pictures yet for before. I took a picture today, so the day 1 where I was at and what I looked like, and then day 7, you know, how we finished off. And there's probably a little bit of tone definition there. I got a little bit more. I burnt off some of the fat that I wanted to burn off around my love handles, you know, and around my belly, but didn't burn. If I continue on, yeah, I could definitely burn it down, but I'd get it all down. But I'd be losing too much in any other gains that I had. You know, I don't want to go back down to 170, even below that, just because I'm trying to burn off, you know, a few little extra layers of fat, you know, around my belly. I'm fine with it where it's at. So here are the results, day 1 and day 7. I think you'll see I definitely lost some belly fat and some fat around the waist. And that was just in 7 days of doing this endurance workout and sticking to a carnivore diet for the most part. I did, like I said, had to go to the galley and load up on some carbs in the middle of it because I was really losing too much weight. I don't know how far it had gone in just 7 days. And in just 7 days, I was able to really burn off quite a bit of fat around my belly, which is where I really wanted to lose it the most. But I was also shedding a little bit too much pounds, so I had to be careful with that, you know. So, but anyway, here we go, day 1 and day 7. But it is an effective way to burn fat and to lose weight. So I don't need to lose weight. I was just doing it because, one, I like to try. I like to push myself. I like to see how far I can go with something. And I've done these workouts before. I've done them in a day, you know, knocked them out one time in a week, you know, maybe one day here, one day there. I've never done 7 consecutive days of this type of an endurance workout. So I really just put it all together. So I decided, okay, what am I going to do? I do 1 hour run, you know, so let me do that. That'll be 10K. I've been doing 100 reps of lunges, air squats, push-ups, and dips. So let me just throw those in there when I finish the run. And since I'm doing like 10 sets of 10 in the gym, let me do 10 workouts. So that'll be 100 repetitions per workout times 10 workouts, and that'll give me my 1,000 repetitions in the gym. Took me 3.5 hours. I was never really able to get better than that. I think one day I did get it down to about 3 hours and 28 minutes. But for the most part, it was 3.5 hours. There was times where I went over 2 because I would choose a different type of ab workout for the day. I got, I think, a choice of 6 workouts on my app on my phone, and some will do more sets, spaced together tighter. Some will do fewer sets, and you got more rest time in between, you know, or say fewer sets with more rest time, or a lot of sets with fewer rest time, you know. So it just depends on how that works out. And I really can add, you know, a lot of time. It takes me just on the regular ones, like on, I think it's like the 6 workout one, 6 different workouts. That will take me about 20 to 30 minutes. And then if you go further down into the lower levels where they're really throwing out there like 7 or 8 different workouts, and they're putting 3 or 4 workouts per set. Some are 2 different workouts in one set. So, you know, you can really start extending that time to 30 to 40 minutes, you know. So, and that's just like after a 1 hour run, 15 minutes of calisthenics, and then making my way back over to the gym. Now I'm hitting around an hour and a half. And then I'm spending 30 minutes on abs, which is something that I kind of transversed into. Was instead of going into the gym and knocking out my weights and then doing the abs, I started doing my abs because that gave me a bit of a cool down. One, I was still working, was still moving, was still burning calories, and I needed to get the abs done, so I knocked those out. And that gave me a chance to sit down, kind of cool off, and dry up a little bit from all the sweat. After I finished 500 crunches, then I would go into my weight workout. And the 500 crunches, it's a variation because there were 2 workouts that I do that are timed. That's scissor kicks and planks. But I do 3 sets of planks, 1 minute a piece, or I'll do them, there's one workout in there, I think it'll do like a minute, then 45 second, then 30 second. There's one that does 3 consecutive 1 minute planks, and there's another one that does like 2 1 minute planks. So that's, I would consider those like a set of 20 times 3 would be, you know, 3 sets. And then I do the scissor kicks too, and I count my scissor kicks, so I know if I do scissor kicks and I'm counting 1, 2, 3, so I'm getting, you know, 10 per leg, and then I do 30, then that'll take me about 15, well, it'll take me about 20 seconds to do 30 kicks, and I'll do 2 back to back, so 30 kicks, that's 1 set. 30, then 30, and that takes me about 40 seconds, 45 seconds to do a set of 30, and I'll do those 3 times, right? So I'm doing well over a set of 20. And then you do like 8 different workouts, you know, you're like up around 480. You just got to add, you know, 480 crunches. You just add 1 more set in there of 20 and just knock those out at the very end, you know, then you get your 500. So that's how I was doing that. And then I was going into my weights, and I was going in a little bit drier too. That helped. There was one day that I did run on the treadmill. I did all my runs outside, all for 6 days. There was one day in the middle where we were getting rain on the weekend. I ran the first day. I got soaked. My shoes were soaked. My shirt was soaked. I just never dried up. And I still went to the gym, and I still did my full workout, my abs and all the weights and the cable weights and everything. And it was just a miserable workout to be in there soaking wet. My feet were like prunes by the time I had finished because I had sweated and they had rained. Got rained on, so everything was wet, everything was soaked. And I didn't want to do that again. And the next day it was raining again, so I just said, okay, I'm gonna run on the treadmill. So I went in there, got on the treadmill, turned my headphones on, and just ran for an hour. And then I got off the treadmill and I did all my other stuff. I did my calisthenics right there in the gym, stayed dry, much better. And then of course the rain let up, you know, over the next couple of days after that, and I finished off the 7 days running outside, which is what I wanted to do. I wanted to be outside running when I finished day 7, and I did. So I think it was day 5 that I actually ran on a treadmill. You still get a good workout. I can run on a treadmill for like hours at a time versus, you know, it's much tougher to run outside because you're pulling your body weight, you're moving your body weight. Treadmill kind of runs for you. Not that it to take anything away from it. When you put an hour in on a treadmill, you're going to be soaked, you're going to be tired, you're going to feel it. And I don't just run flat either, I'll incline it. So I run on like I started off on 1.5, I'll increase it to like a 2, and then I might go to 2.5. And I also I start off at a speed of 5.5, which is a nice little trot, just to get loosened up. You know, I might spend 10 to 15 minutes doing that, and then I'll increase the speed in increments of 5. So I'll go to 6, and then I go 6.5. And then depending on how I feel at the very end, like to say the last 10 minutes, I'll really increase it up to 7, 7.5 and get a good little, just finish hard, you know. But didn't have to worry about it. Just that one day where it was raining, and felt good. Doing it in the gym, you know, on the treadmill, it was fine. But then every day after that, I was outside. So, and today I finished off day 7. I felt good. Went out at 178. I went down to 175 in water weight that I lost. So that was something I wanted to cover, and I will cover a lot more of that in the lessons learned portion, especially on the weight thing, was that I had to take in a lot more carbs because I just needed to put some weight on. So I was dipping down, you know, I was trying to keep it up to 175 at least, you know, above 175, but then as soon as you run, you're dropping down to 173, you're going back into the DFAC, you're sticking to that protein diet, you're coming back in the next day, now you're like 174, dropping weight down to 172, trying to put it back on throughout the day. You know, you can't do that alone with just eating protein, I found, which is why that is so effective. And I really want to go into a discussion, I will on another video, not on this one. This one's just going to be an update on day 7, but I really do want to do a discussion later on about how diet plus exercise is not one or the other. You know, you have to have both. If you really want to see the results, if you really want to get yourself trimmed up, yes, diets, if you do them exclusively right, you could probably see some weight loss. But can you really see, you know, major results without any sort of exercise, and you're just saying, I'm going to eat right? Most of those diets, you're going to be eating a lot of carbs anyway, so I can't see that you're going to lose too much weight. Remember before, when I talked about this in one of my other videos, was I said I could get out there and run for an hour, and I could do a lot of workouts. I would run for an hour. I would still get into the gym. I was still not, but I wasn't changed. I was still 193. You know, if I really wanted to push myself, I would just not eat. That was my solution. I'll just not eat. I'll just starve myself. You know, I'll just eat like very little. You know, well, what happens is you're burning a lot of calories. You know, you're losing weight, but you're doing it by trying to starve yourself. And you get 3 or 4 days into that, you're going to be super hungry. You're going to cave in, and you're going to give up. You're going to lose that fight. Your body's going to force you to eat. You're going to go in, you're going to open the fridge, or you're going to go into, like in my case, the galley over here, and I'm going to see cake and cookies and just, you know, big hot dogs, pizza, hamburgers, whatever. I'm going to start gobbling all that up. I just ruined everything that I was trying to work for. So the goal is to keep eating and to keep your belly full, you know. And if you do it with protein, those calories, protein calories, are going to be used by your body. They're not going to be stored. They're going to get used in your muscle. They're going to get used in energy. It's going to be used right away. In between meals, when you are not eating and your body still needs to pull calories from somewhere to get the fuel that it needs to function, that's where it's going to start pulling from your body. Now, if you're just munching throughout the day and you're throwing in carbs, you're throwing in sugars, it's just gobbling it up. It's using some of it, but yeah, we just store a lot of that away. We don't need it right now. And that was the problem I was having when I was doing these long workouts and I was doing long runs. I just wasn't eating right. So I stayed 193. I stayed 195, you know, and if I cut back on my exercise, even just a little bit, you know, I would just go back up to 197, 198. You know, I really struggled to keep it down below 200. I never understood why, you know. Like I'm getting, you know, healthy foods. I'm eating the vegetables, you know, I'm getting hummus, you know, I'm not snacking in between meals. Just wasn't enough. You got to eat the right food. You got to have the right diet, and you got to have the exercise. The exercise and the diet together. That's key. That's what works. And that'll be another video. That's something I really want to discuss. And I'm really excited about getting it all jotted down, getting the outline done, making sure I cover everything, I don't miss anything. And I think I kind of went off on this. I really do want to hold out and do that on another video. This one I just want to be an update. So I finished out my day today after the workout at 175. I should be able to put on a couple of pounds throughout the day, drinking fluids and eating up. Hopefully we'll be at the end of the day, go in at about 178 again. And I think that if I just go back to my normal meals and, you know, with the calorie deficit, the workout, 6 hours in between, really trying to put on the calories and protein in the galley when I go eat, and focus more on weights. You know, it'll be a lot less running. And it won't be every day I'll do some calisthenics. It'll be every few days. It'll be just a warm-up jog. Get out there 10 minutes, one lap, come back over here, hit the gym, try to do heavier weights, get in more reps, and see if I can put weight on like that, lean weight, not fat weight. And going to try and go in that direction, not try to lose any. I'm going to get away from that. This was just a challenge I wanted to do for myself. And on all these videos, it's not just about me putting everything out here saying, hey, look what I can do this. I want to show everybody, one, that, I'm 48 years old, and I've been down that road where I was fit, I felt good in my 30s, I lost everything. And then it came back for me, and I figured out, and I started to see what was working, and I started to use it, and then I kind of tweaked it a little bit, and now I've really just found the right formula between exercise and foods. And I've done it by research, finding Dr. Ken Berry on YouTube and Dr. Paul Saldana, and listening to them talk about the benefits of being on a carnivore diet and eating a high protein diet, just sticking to those meats. Just leave the vegetables alone. Honestly, just leave the vegetables alone. In between your meals, your body's going to start using fuel from your fat, like I said, so you're going to lose weight. You're going to get down to a point, you're not just going to wither away, but you're going to maintain some weight, some muscle mass if you're exercising. Your legs are going to gain muscle, your arms are going to gain muscle a little bit, I'm not saying you're going to get big, but you're going to burn off all that fat. So the weight, you'll be losing weight sticking to a protein diet and getting exercise. You will every day lose weight, lose a little bit of weight, and you'll lose it safely. And I can attest to that it works. It's highly effective. It's very effective. Very glad I did this, and really learned a lot. So I'm going to get my notes together, do another video on that, on lessons learned from this 7-day period, this little experiment that I did, and just give everybody the results. As for my challenge, I'm done with that. I'll be moving on to other things now. I don't want this channel to be just about exercise and fitness. That's a big part of my life, but it's an overall life of contractor. This is what I do. My life is overseas, it's in different countries, it's on military bases, it's embedded. It's I don't know, it's different. It's a different life. But I would like to discuss and go over and show everybody, hey, this is travel, and also would like to do some videos on, if you're interested in getting into the contracting world and getting into this type of work, the benefits, the money, it's very good. The travel, if you're into that, but there's drawbacks too. You're away from your family quite a bit, and especially if you really commit yourself to this line of work. I've made a career out of it. I'm coming up on 20 years. I'm in my 17th year. Come May, I'll hit 18 years. And I'm glad that I did it, and I've had a great experience doing it, I'm looking for some other opportunities that might put me in more, not really these austere places like I get into now, but somewhere where it's, more civilized and, live on the economy, like in Kuwait, or Dubai, one of those places. Or we got stuff in Abu Dhabi, it'd be nice to be over there, but definitely Kuwait, Qatar, places like that. Even in the Philippines, there's bases everywhere and there's contracts all over the place. But getting into this line of work, is something I'd like to discuss and focus more on in later videos, and give people some tips and pointers on resources to use, going online, finding the jobs and what you need as a background, and if you've ever had a clearance, how to get another clearance, how to find the companies that are hiring and getting people clearances, because you'll need that. That's most important. If you cannot get a clearance, if you cannot at least get a good background check done, it's almost impossible to get your foot in the door. So anyway, that's it for me for day 7 for this whole endurance challenge. We're done. Moving on, we're going to talk about what we've learned from this in the next video. We're also going to discuss some ways that people can put their own workouts together, their own diet plans, and hopefully find their own way that they can benefit from everything that I did and I learned, and that they can lose the weight, if they want to lose the weight, or if they are already, feel like they've lost enough weight, they just want to stay fit, what they can do, the foods they can eat. And really, I'm just taking all this off of research that I find. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a physical therapist or anything. I'm just a guy that found a way to, achieve the goals that I wanted to achieve. After so many trial and errors, and and now finally, just like, yeah, well, it does work. You just got to do it in a particular way. You have to do the exercise. You have to do the right foods, and you have to eat, good. So anyway, hope everybody is doing well. And if you're doing your exercises, keep it up, stay with it, and stay healthy, stay fit, and stay positive. Rogue out.